Hello everybody, it's Bubba Rob. How's it going? I'm minus the ball cap, so like you can see I actually have hair. Can you imagine that? Anyways, I took a few days off, but I have to recharge my batteries sometimes, and I'm going to tell you a story. So if you like, please hit the like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I greatly appreciate it. Let's go. What I want to talk about today is disappointment, and I'll tell you what happened to me a couple days ago, and then how I dealt with it, and what's happened. For a couple of years now, I wasn't able to ride my Harley because the arthritis and stuff that I go through, and you know, it just kind of is what it is. But I decided to give it a shot and put it on the road, and I was doing lots of short rides, and everything seemed pretty good. And then I got invited to go up to Kamloops, just past Kamloops there, and I thought I'd give it a shot. So me living on the island, I had to first ride to the boat, catch the ferry, head over, and then from the ferry to my destination, it was probably about, should have been about a 4.5, 5 hour ride, not riding too aggressively, and stopping for gas and all that stuff. Oh, before I forget, I got a real funny story at the end, so please listen to the end. It's the funniest American tourist story I've had. Like, it's pretty funny. You gotta listen to it. Anyways, so I was supposed to go meet my friend up there and spend 3 days, and I kept getting sent these messages of this turkey that was being cooked for me. Yeah, it's so sweet. And every half an hour I'd get a picture of this turkey, and it was getting browner and browner and browner. So that was my incentive to keep going. So what I noticed was, I think pardon me for moving here. Part of it, the problem was the traffic was so bad on the mainland, and God, I was sitting on that bike, and I got a race suspension in it, and it's an extremely stiff ride, and that seat I got is not built for comfort. So it started really aggravating my back and my hips, and then I had to stop every once in a while and stretch out, and I kept my friend abreast of what was going on, and I knew that that 5 hour ride was going to turn into a 10-hour ride the way I was going. So pitter patter, let's get at her, and off I was going. And in some ways this is a story of disappointment, but it depends on how you think about it. But anyway, so I run into Hope, pull into this Esso, and there's a Ricky's Restaurant Diner there. And geez, I pull up to the gas pump, and I lost the feeling in both my legs. They both went numb. It's from the nerve damage I've had. I put my feet down. I couldn't even put my kickstand down. So I just waited until the feeling came back. I had my foot on the brake, and then as soon as my leg was moving, I put the kickstand down, and I got up and got some fuel. Thought, well, maybe I better go into the restaurant and sit down for a while and just kind of relax and see what happens, and take some ibuprofen. So I go in there, and I phoned my friend up, and I told her what was going on. I was in tears. I was very disappointed. You know, I've been riding for, oh geez, almost 35 years. Big part of my life. You know, and I really want to get up there and see her and enjoy some time. And you know, I don't normally get to go on vacations because I was usually working. So I was really looking forward to it. So, like I say, you know, actually, I phoned my son first. I was talking to my son, and I said, what do I do? And he says, well, he says, in my opinion, because you're halfway, it's a much tougher decision to go home. It's more selfish of you if you go up there. And I started thinking about his logic of that. You know, it kind of hit home with me. Then I phoned my friend up and told her what was going on. I told her what my son said, and she actually encouraged me to go home. She said to me, you know, if you ride up here, you got to ride all the way home. It's not safe. You know, so I really appreciated that understanding. I was extremely upset with myself. I was very disappointed. I really wanted to go up there. I was looking forward to it, spending some time up there. I was also going to see my friend Wade. I haven't seen for a while. You know, and it was extremely, extremely disappointing. So then I made my way back to the ferry, and I was very lucky I got back, and that was probably one of the most painful things I've ever done. And so I get to the ferry, and I get on there, and I park the bike. And this is where the funny story happens. Is I'm waiting at the elevator. I only had to go one floor, and I thought, there's no flipping way I'm walking up those stairs. It just wasn't going to happen. So I'm standing waiting for this elevator, and there's some people there. And there is an American couple, tourists. And the wife says to me, excuse me, have you been on these ferries much? I said, yes, I have. I've been on lots of ferries over my lifetime. What would you like to know? She said, is there a deck where we can walk on so we can observe things and maybe see the whales or something? I said, yeah, I think it's deck number 6. Whatever, just take the elevator up there and get out, and you can walk around. It should be all good. And then she was very serious. And she goes to me, she says, do they have washrooms on the ferries? I couldn't believe it. Yeah, she's never been on a boat before, I guess. And I said to her, this is the funny part. I said, yes, they do have bathrooms on the washrooms on the ferry. I said, they got male, female, and because we're in the province of British Columbia, we also have gender neutral bathrooms. She looked at me really serious. She says, we're not into those. I thought it was funny, and her husband was shaking his head, and I said to her, I said, you know, I've never been in one myself. She said, no? I said, no. I said, you know, I'm kind of scared to go in one. She said, are you? I said, yeah. I said, you know what I heard? What goes on in a gender neutral bathroom? She goes, what? I said, they mount the seat sideways. She flippin' believed it. I couldn't believe how gullible she was. I was just messing around. No offense to anybody. But you know, I when I saw that, that was just an opportunity to crack one. And God, she says, "Oh my God!" And he got mad at his wife because he knew I was just pulling her leg, and everybody started to laugh. Oh, oh yeah, it was pretty funny. You had to have been there. I don't know where they're from. But I'm a firm believer that, we're all equal, and we need to be respectful to one another. And, I just saw that joke coming. I don't know, some people might not like me saying it, but I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny that someone would believe a bullshit story like that. I guess that's the fault of social media. But anyways, get back to the story. I was so disappointed on my trip. And my friend, she was texting me yesterday. And, the problem with texting is not really talking. And things were going amiss. And, we put an end to it. And we had to give her one another a break a little bit, right? So we got talking this morning, and things went extremely well. And I greatly appreciate her for her understanding. It's unbelievable. I was literally, I was very disappointed. But I tried to look at it more like a stoic. And what I mean by that is, we have a tendency to think, I don't know whoever told us this bullshit, but things happen for a reason. Well, you know what? They don't. They just happen. That's what a stoic believes. Things happen because they do. Things happen that we have no control over. Things happen no matter what our good intentions are, or even our bad intentions. Things just happen. We've got no control over it. So I just thought, when I was talking to my friend, I said, I got to take a look at this trip and the positive parts that came out of it. She was asking me, what were they? And I said, well, first of all, I didn't get in an accident. I hadn't been riding for a while. Second of all, I got to meet some pretty interesting people when I got to stop. I appreciate those people. I got a few stories. Oh, there's a car rolling by. So if I wouldn't have went on the trip, I wouldn't have had those interactions. And also, because the trip failed in a sense, there was a lot of positive parts that came with it with my friend. And, I promised her I would never mention her name or anything like that. That's not fair. But, we learned a lot about one another from that failure. We learned about understanding and listening, just being kind, and giving one another space, and even with the disappointment, maybe recognizing our own triggers where we needed to actually stop the conversation and take a little bit of a break. Because, if you go at something and not understand or recognize your triggers in life, which I learned a lot from the last course I did with the Wounded Warriors, tremendous help, is we have a tendency to get going and not stopping and saying something we can't get back, when it might not be based on any fact at all. It's just based on our opinion or the way we're thinking, if we're thinking negatively. It's not good. That whole situation could have got blown up in a real bad way But just having some patience and listening and having some caring, it didn't go that way. It actually brought our friendship closer together because we were able to communicate. This is one of these things I keep talking about, is how important to have the conversation really is, right? It's extremely important. Extremely important not to get upset. It's so important not to get upset at people that think differently than you, that are differently than you. You don't have to even accept people. You don't have to understand them. All you have to do is be respectful, and once in a while just listen, right? We're so impatient now. Everything's right there. Bang, bang, bang. Everything's on the cell phone. We're always looking for the next easiest, quickest thing. You'll never find any peace that way. It's just not going to happen. How can relationships work? They can't work if there's no respect. They can't work if you can't listen. And they won't work if you don't have the important conversations. Right? It's just it. Anyways, that's the end of my story. I hope I'm not in trouble for telling that. I love everybody out there. Remember, if you want to hear some more Bubba Rob stories, just hit the please, like, share, subscribe. Watch. Let it go viral. We need to be kinder out there, right? We need to be kinder to everybody. And don't buy into the bullshit. Okay? If something's really negative that you're watching, turn the flicking thing off. Right? Okay? Remember, the most important thing out there to be man, woman, child, rainbow, construction worker, biker, stoic, blues player, whatever your is the most important thing is to be kind. Keep it going. Open the door for somebody. Tell the people you love that you love them. Okay? Have a great day. Love you all. Bye-bye.